Hi Westtown families, once again. In this video we're going to estimate sums and differences of mixed numbers. Now when we talk about mixed numbers, we're talking about a fraction that has a whole and then part of a whole, okay? Fractions like 2 1/4, 1 5/8 are mixed numbers. And so when we estimate, we're rounding the numbers to benchmark fractions, just like you've seen in previous videos. We'll think about 0, 1/2, and 1 whole as benchmark fractions. Let's go ahead and read the question. Jamila's mom wants to make a size 10 dress and jacket. About how many yards of fabric does she need? There's a lot of information that has been given to us. We need to decide what information is important and what information isn't really necessary to solve the problem. So we want to find out about how many yards of fabric she needs. And she's making a size 10 dress and jacket. So let's go ahead and take a look at the information we've been given. Size 10 and dress. Size 10 dress requires 2 1/4 yard of fabric, and then a size 10 jacket requires 1 5/8 yards of fabric. I'll go ahead and to find the total amount, I'm going to add these two mixed numbers. So we have 2 1/4 plus 1 5/8 is equal to something. Now we're just finding about how many yards of fabric she's going to need. So we're estimating, okay? When we look at 2 1/4, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and draw a number line to show you kind of where 2 1/4 would be on the number line, and then decide what benchmark fraction it's closest to. So 2 1/4 is between 2 holes and 3 holes. 2 1/2 is directly in between 2 and 3. And so if we're thinking of fourths, it would be 2 2/4 is directly in between. So we're looking at 2 1/4, so it's going to be to the left on the number line of 2 2/4. And so we'll round down to 2 yards, okay? So 2 1/4 yards is about equal to 2 yards. Okay, we're going to bring the addition sign down, and now let's take a look at 1 5/8. So if we look back at our number line, well, let's actually create a new number line. All right. 1 5/8 is between 1 hole and 2 holes, so I'll have my number line start at 1 and end at 2. And exactly halfway between 1 and 2 is 1 1/2. I'll mark that on my number line. Now I'm looking at eighths, so half in eighths is going to be 4/8. So I'm going to go ahead and write 1 4/8 to represent 1 1/2. I'm looking at 1 5/8. 5/8 is greater than 4/8 just by a little bit, just by 1/8. So 1 5/8 is going to be just to the right of 1 4/8 on the number line. And you can see that 1 5/8 is closest to 1 1/2. Okay, so we'll go ahead and round 1 5/8 to 1 1/2. You have 2 holes plus 1 1/2 gives you 3 1/2. 3 holes and then half a yard. Okay, so I would go ahead and put a unit. It's important to put a unit with our answer. So Jamila's mom is going to need about 3 1/2 yards of the fabric to make the size 10 dress and jacket.